Rev up your engines! Alright, today we got a 2008 Honda CRV. They're very popular vehicles, and this one has a rather odd story. Now, number one in popularity of these is the Toyota Rav4, and the Honda CRV is number two in terms of sales. Now, this guy had a beautiful Rav4 with only 60,000 miles, and he ended up with this, a CRV with over 160,000 miles. He gave the Rav4 to his son's girlfriend, and took the girlfriend's car. He's never even taken off the island here in Rhode Island. He's kind of worried. I don't know what's done. She didn't know anything about what had been done or anything to it, so I'm checking it out to see what shape it's in. Now, he's worried, but I'm not so worried myself. Now, I'm in Rhode Island right now, but this is a Southern car. It's been transplanted to Rhode Island, so there's no worry about rust on this car. It's a Southern car. Just like my Matrix, which lived in Texas and Tennessee. There's no salt rust on it. There's no salt rust on this. If, on the other hand, he had traded his beautiful Rav4 with 60,000 miles for a Honda CRV with 160,000 miles that was all rotting away from the salt on the East Coast, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, whatever, that would have been a big mistake. This is not rusted. So, it is sort of a special case. Like I said, if you would have switched it out with a Northern CRV that's as old as this thing is, it's going to be all rotting away. Not the case, because it's a Texas car. Now, being a Southern car, it's just front-wheel drive. It's not all-wheel drive. You really do not need all-wheel drive. My mother drove for years in Buffalo, New York with a front-wheel drive Corolla. They plow the roads, right? So you don't necessarily need four-wheel drive. You can get worse gas mileage, more things to wear out. When you go under the hood of this is why these things are so reliable. Check it out. Nice size. 2.4 double overhead cam inline 4. Relatively basic technology. It's not a GDI car. It has normal fuel injectors on it, not high pressure GDI. These are tried and trusted engines. I've seen these things with 500,000 miles on them. This particular one doesn't burn any oil. It's due for an oil change. It's kind of dirty. And not being turbocharged or GDI, it does not have oil dilution problem where gasoline dilutes the oil. Now, he was really worried about driving it because of the mileage. As you can see, it's got 168,597 miles on it. And he was so worried about the high mileage, he wouldn't take it off the island here in Rhode Island. So I'm going through the whole thing to show him what kind of shape it's in. Now, the only thing I can see so far is it needs oil and filter change because the oil's black. This he probably won't worry about. The tire pressure warning system says the tire's low, but it's probably a sensor. Our scan tool will show us that when we scan it. Heated seats, high and low. They still work on both sides. Nice armrest. Yeah, the leather in the seats is getting a little worn, but it's an old car. Lots of room in the back still, and they're in better shape. Hardly anybody ever uses the back seats. They didn't. Tires still have a lot of wear. They're not dry rotted. The rims are still in good shape. The back tires are still good. Still in good shape, beating up. They painted them pretty good in Ohio. Like I say, the back leather seats are still in good shape. A lot of room in them. Most everything under the hood's still original. The ABS, same power steering pump, same alternator, air conditioning compressor. The only thing that I can see that's not original is this AAA battery. And you got to replace them every once in a while, right? Now, sure, I'd rather have a Honda made in Japan, but these babies were made in Ohio. They did a pretty good job building them. Look at it, 160-something thousand miles. Maybe I'll leave my words. Let's get my big scan tool, and we're going to go through. It plugs in under the dash, kind of hidden. Notice it's updating itself. So what I like about this Autel, they have a lot of updates. Very simple. It automatically shows you what's happening, so you can update it. In my case, I can do it right in the driveway because I hooked my little wireless job up inside the garage. As you can see, there she blows. Flashing it pretty quickly. It's older, so it's got a 6 CD disc changer that it came with. And check it out. You get a little storage up here and a big storage down there. All kinds of room to store stuff. Plus all the storage room in here. Sunroof. All the power windows still work. It's detected the vehicle. We'll do standalone diagnosis. Now it's the VIN number USA CRV 2008. Even though it's an older car, Autel set it up good. We can do a topology scan, and away the scan goes. The reasons I like this is because of this. Check it out. A regular mechanical emergency brake, not one of those stupid electric buttons. One less thing to go wrong. Oh, the TPMS, the tire pressure monitoring system, isn't working because that light is on. 11 of the trouble codes that it has are the tire pressure monitoring system. Start there. Probably a bunch of the sensors don't work anymore because it's so old. Permanent low air pressure, signal failure, so who really cares? I mean, we'll turn it off and erase the codes. Who's going to spend a bunch of money to buy expensive sensors when you can get a tire pressure gauge and measure it yourself? Most people do that. You don't want to spend hundreds of dollars. Tire pressure gauge costs $10. Also has some other little codes. They'll probably all be nuts and toots as the gauges have a problem. And open the outside air temperature sensor. Who cares if it doesn't give the right temperature outside? Even though it is, it's 53 out and it says 53 here, so who cares? There's two codes here. Multiplex integrated control unit. That's a mouthful. It says there's a problem with this transmitter and the key, right? Oh, what the heck? It unlocks the doors and starts the car, so who cares? And the last thing is it has two AC codes. We'll see what craziness that is. Oh, trouble codes. See what nonsense is there. It says there aren't any trouble codes even though it's got one. Isn't that a scream? So we really don't care. It said there was a trouble code, but none existed. So it probably had to do with the other codes that were saying there's some kind of crazy control unit problem. He wants to see how reliable this thing is, so we're going to start it up and we're going to look at live data. So we go to the big deal, the powertrain control module, and we'll watch live data. Black is good, red is bad. We'll just start going through it. The MAV sensor's normal. Airflow lambda, 0.99, 1.00 is perfect. It's perfect, a little above, a little under perfect, and then goes back and forth. That's almost perfect. That's perfect. Not bad for a car with 168,000 miles on it. Valve timing system is working good. Zero misfire, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all the cycles it's been through. And then you have the cylinder misfire, the other checks. They're all zero too, at 400 something cycles. It's a Honda. Those engines can run forever. Back it up, take it for a spin. Listen to see our wheel bearings worn. Brakes working okay, so here we go. No backup camera. Relatively high up in the air, so going over this little bump isn't going to hurt anything like it would on a low car. And it's got a lot of miles on it, so I'm sure the struts are somewhat worn on it, but here we go on the little bumpy roads. And, hey, pretty normal for a car with this kind of mileage. It actually rides quite a bit better than Matrix does. The Honda's got a better suspension system, there's no arguing that. The tire pressure monitoring light came back on because it knows the sensors aren't working anymore, right? Who really cares? Some more storm weather. Nobody to the right. Soon nobody to the left. And here we go. We'll give it some gas. It's spinning those tires, baby. The traction control had to go in. You saw the warning light because I was making it go so fast it started spinning the wheels. This little car, still look, you step on the gas, the way it goes, yet still crisp, smooth shifts. Even though it's got all these miles. Honda knew what they were doing when they built these cars. There's no wheel bearing noises, it idles fine. Turns perfectly fine. It's still an excellent vehicle. I wouldn't think twice about jumping in this thing and driving to California, but I would change the engine oil and filter before I did, because it's black. It's idling smooth as can be with all that mileage, because it's a reasonable size 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. Not some stupid baby little 1 liter 3-cylinder turbo or 1.5 liter turbo. It's a reasonable size, so it's got good power and still gets decent gas. You step on the gas, whoop, spun the tires too fast. So it's slippery. The traction control kicked in because it was going too fast. And I show you think this thing is underpowered? No, it isn't. There, now it's drier. Zippy, typical Honda car. Zippy, shifts good, fun to drive. Basically, other than an oil change, you really don't need to do anything to this thing. Now, I do have to say, I wouldn't have traded a Rav4 with 60,000 miles for the CRV with 160,000 miles plus on it, but he was being a nice guy, giving a nice Rav4 to his son's girlfriend, and then taking this in exchange. He was worried. Can I drive it off the island? I'd drive it to California. It's a Honda. They don't need that much maintenance, even though she probably didn't do much maintenance at all. The oil is pretty dirty, right? The car itself is holding up because it's a Honda. It's well made. 4-cylinder engine, a smooth transmission. This thing's got tons of life left into it. But of course, a lot has to do with the fact that it's a southern car. You don't really want to buy one that's old like this. If it's a northern car, it's probably rotted away. Now, if they garaged it in the winter and rinsed it off, maybe not. I've seen a few Rhode Island cars that people take care, put it in the garage like I do, and they don't get any rust. But if it isn't a southern car, first thing, have a mechanic check the frame. Check for rust. If it's rusted apart, don't buy it. This one isn't. Don't have any qualms about buying a vehicle like this. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.